We are not exporting. We are not exporting enrichment capability to the Saudis. These are civilian nuclear power plants as the Saudis look to diversify. But the difference is they've signed up for full inspections. There is no enrichment. Compare that with what's going on in Iran, the largest state sponsor of terrorism, kicking out the inspectors. This is about civilian nuclear power. Very different than Iran's obsession.
Republicans maintain President Trump is executing his peace through strength playbook by signing an historic agreement with Saudi Arabia. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final hour of the big weekend show. Tensions remain elevated in the Middle East after Houthi rebels launched an attack striking Saudi oil facilities with dozens of ballistic missiles and drones. This all comes as the United States and Saudi Arabia sign their nuclear agreement, giving American companies priority to build reactors in the country. Ahead of his Tuesday meeting with President Trump at the White House, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is praising the deal.
I think President Trump was absolutely right in stating that condition, that Saudi Arabia would get a civilian nuclear program in exchange for a normalization of relations with Israel. It's a great achievement, historic achievement, and obviously we'll be delighted if we could extend it to Saudi Arabia and other countries. And I think if we weaken Iran further, we will.
Meanwhile, Democrats are critical.
We're going to have more nuclear weapons in the Middle East to set off another nuclear arms race there.
But if Saudi Arabia does not meet all the protocols, etc., then it could cause an arms race where the Egyptians or others in the area want a nuclear weapon.
He's going to provide the materials for nuclear weapons to Saudi Arabia. It's the dawn of a new nuclear arms race in the Middle East.
Joining us for tonight's big close-up is a member of the House Armed Services Committee, Senate Armed Services Committee, and Indiana Senator Jim Banks. Senator, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I want to get your take. First, are you waiting to hear some more details from the administration on what this agreement is? Do you support it, and do you support the timing of it?
Well, Saudi Arabia is an ally, an important ally to the United States. And by the way, the Houthis in Iran have turned almost all of the rest of the Middle East into stronger allies with the United States. That's the good news. And if President Trump can expand on the Abraham Accords from the first Trump term by normalizing relations with Israel and Saudi Arabia, the Middle East will be as strong and peaceful as it's ever been as we continue to maintain that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. So give President Trump a lot of credit here in what he's done to foster and grow peace agreements, strengthening the Abraham Accords. It's really probably the most significant thing that he did in the first term, and he's only expanding upon it in this term as well. Of course, the Democrats hate it. They hate the idea that President Trump will be the one who will go down in history, who will negotiate peace in the Middle East, but that's exactly what President Trump has done.
Senator, I'm looking at markets right now when WTI is at 84, Brent is briefly dipped below 90. We were close to 100 on Friday. Looks like after a couple nights of not striking Iran, I think the oil markets are hoping that maybe we can ease some tensions and sort of reopen the Strait of Hormuz if Omani and Irani officials start talking together and figuring out a plan for that. How are you thinking about a ceasefire, a new memorandum of understanding? What would a positive next step look like to you?
Well, it just goes to show, you see the stock markets, futures are reacting as well. Oil prices are dipping. And as soon as President Trump brings Iran to the table and they cry uncle and agree that they will never have a nuclear weapon, then gas prices are going to plummet to lower than we've ever seen before, thanks to the early Trump oil and energy policies that he enacted, uprooting the Green New Deal from the Biden administration. So that's all good news. But at the end of the day, President Trump, and you heard UN Ambassador Mike Waltz make this very clear this morning, President Trump's not going to allow Iran to ever have a nuclear weapon, and we will do whatever necessary to prevent them from having one and to keep the Strait of Hormuz open as well. So as you see a timeline here with less strikes and less action, hopefully that will give Iran a time right now to come back and do what President Trump and others have said that they want to do, strike a deal, that requires that they will never have a nuclear weapon, and we will move on, and oil prices will be lower than we've ever seen before.
We're all very hopeful for that, cautiously optimistic. All right, I want to turn to this now, Senator. The House officially passed the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act, adding text of the Save America Act to that bill. It now heads to the showdown in the Senate. There's a lot of frustration, Senator, with you and your fellow senators, quite frankly. Republicans are frustrated that their Republican senators aren't able to get voter ID, proof of citizenship, and some of the other parts of the Save America Act across the finish line. I want you to shoot it very straight with us. Is there a chance, is there a snowball's chance in hell that we get the Save America Act in any iteration through the Senate to the president?
Well, this is the 5th time the House has passed the Save America Act. I'm frustrated, too. The Senate should abandon the so-called traditions and the filibuster rules, nuke the filibuster, do whatever it takes to pass the Save America Act. I think the NDAA and the upcoming reconciliation package that the House is going to send over to the Senate are the best opportunities that we have to pass Save America Act requiring voter ID. The NDAA is very important for our troops and our military. And by the way, Democrats are blocking funding for our military at a time when we need to replenish our munitions stockpiles and support our military. So that's the perfect bill to put the Save America Act in. The Democrats are all against it. They don't want to support our military, and the Democrats don't want voter ID. So let's put every Republican on the record in support of it and pass it and save this country and head into the midterms with the best hand that we have to keep the majorities in the House and the Senate. I fear what will happen if we don't pass the Save America Act on Election Day in the midterm elections.
Yeah, I have the same fear. Senator, do you think that you should forego the upcoming recess to get this done?
I'm all for it. We don't need a recess. Let's pass the Save America Act. It's more important than taking a break, taking a recess. And I'm back in Indiana for the weekend. I head back to Washington tomorrow. I've heard from people everywhere I go, from the diner this morning to the grocery store, pass the Save America Act. We have to get it done. It's so fundamental to the future of this country to make sure that American elections are only for Americans. By the way, the biggest story this week was the Democrat governor in New Jersey admitting that 6,600 illegals were accidentally registered to vote, and hundreds of them actually voted in the last 2 elections in New Jersey. If that can happen there, and even a Democrat is admitting it, it's the biggest. It's yet the biggest reason and example of why we have to pass the Save America Act.
Senator Jason Chaffetz here. You've introduced legislation to end birthright citizenship for illegals after the Supreme Court struck down President Trump's executive order. Tell us more about your Citizenship Act and how it would give Congress authority over naturalization and label illegal aliens as invaders. Why is that language specifically important?
Well, it's the most important language, Jason, because the Supreme Court struck down the president's executive order. But what all 9 Supreme Court justices agree on is that the babies of invaders into our country are not eligible for birthright citizenship. So we don't need a constitutional amendment. We can pass a simple bill in Congress that declares an invasion at the southern border. We've done it, by the way, we've declared pirates, Nazi spies in the past as invaders into our country, yet the number of illegals, the tens of millions of illegals that have come into our country is so greater and such a bigger threat to the future of our country than either of those types of invaders. So declare an invasion and then declare that the babies of those invaders are not eligible for birthright citizenship. That's what my bill, Brandon Gill, introduced it in the House. It's simple. It's got a substantial amount of support, and it would ban birthright citizenship for illegals. I think truly an existential threat to the United States of America.
All right. Senator Jim Banks, thanks very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.